I'm gonna compare this team to the mid '90s Lakers. They came off obviously Magic Johnson's, HIV, and they had aging players like a James Worthy and Sam Perkins that was left from the '91 team. So they scrapped it. James Worthy retired. Obviously, Magic couldn't come back or try to come back later, whatever. But I'm talking about the rebuild. So James Worthy retired. The Lakers flipped Sam Perkins for Doug Christie. It was like Doug Christie and Benoit Benjamin, but Doug Christie was a player of value in that. So they got a younger guy in Doug Christie. They got draft pick Anthony Peeler. They got Nick Van Exel in the draft. They got Eddie Jones in the draft. Byron Scott left via free agency to go to Indiana at the time, I believe. AC Green ended up going to Phoenix. So the old guard is dissembled. The new guys are coming in. This is over the next few years. So you got Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Peeler, Christie, team full of guys like that. By the time we get to '96 with the Shaq trade, we had to get rid of damn near everybody to get Shaq. So we kept, I believe it was like Van Exel, Ceballos. Then you have Shaq. Then you draft Kobe. Then you still have Eddie Jones. And you kind of could put pieces around that. And the nucleus that began before the championship teams was consisted on Van Exel, Jones. They traded Ceballos for Ori. Then they got Rick Fox as a little free agent addition. Derek Fisher through the draft, Kobe through the draft. So you get where I'm going with this. Anyway, so pretty much once you find the guys that you want to be your absolute core moving forward, you could put pieces around them, but you still have to find those 2, 3 guys that you can really build around. I think Golden State, they had Steph and Clay and Draymond, obviously, and then you can sign an Iguodala and draft Harrison Barnes, and you can do things of that nature, but you can't do that until you find the guys that's right for your long-term future. So the Lakers have a ton of young guys right now. Some could step on each other's toes. That is why I'm trying to see who's good for the long-term success, who's projected as a long-term starter, long-term contributor for this bunch. Now, let's start with Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson, I don't think is an NBA two guard. Just my opinion. I don't know. I mean, a starting two guard. I believe he's like a Lou Williams type. You bring him off the bench, he can give you anywhere from 12 to 20 points a night. So I don't know if I want him to be my NBA two guard. I want my NBA two guard to be a more consistent shooter from the perimeter, even though he's been working on it, which I give him credit for. I want him to be, I don't know, 6'5" and a little bit of a bigger build. Jordan Clarkson is more slender. So, I mean, a guy like Klay Thompson is your prototypical type. Even DeMar DeRozan, he doesn't shoot with the range, but a guy that kind of build is probably your prototype two or wing player, I should say. Your point guard, D'Angelo Russell would actually have a big advantage. You got a 6'5" point guard because he's actually a pure point guard in my opinion. When he comes down court, he's always looking to pass first, even though he's capable of scoring. He can be that guy. I'm still worried about his explosion a little bit, but like I said, if he can just learn how to use his body in different angles, then he'd be fine there. Defensively, I don't think he's going to be a good defender. I just want him to be decent, but we'll see. I don't think he's going to defend that position too great, so you might want to get a two guard that defends that position well, a la Klay Thompson. So he could defend that position. Your point guard might be able to roam, play off the ball a little bit. You can hide him a little bit on defense. But as long as he's getting you his numbers that he's supposed to do, the 20 and the 8 assists or however he's going to do it, then, at least you're getting production from that spot. So point guard, long term, I would like D'Angelo Russell to be that guy. We'll see. As far as the big guys go, Randall or Nance, I think Nance would be the better because I think if you fill in the other spots with more dominant players, then Nance has the ability to either be the guy off the bench with the high motor or the guy that can start, even though he's not the best player, but he just does all the little things. Randall is a good player. He gets you double doubles and everything like that, but his game is more tailored. I don't know. His game is more rugged. He needs to really work on his shot for me to take him seriously as an effective starting power forward in the NBA. He has the defensively, he has the tools with the ability. His feet are fast, so he has the ability to switch out on pick and rolls or hedge and still get back. He can do things like that as well as Nance, but Nance can do those things as well. And Nance is actually a little more polished because he played in college a little more. So and Nance is better defensively. That's another thing. Your four has to be able to play defense. Now, obviously, we're seeing Kevin Love not getting too much playing time now because that's not one of his strong suits. But nowadays, your four has to be able to play defense. They have to. They have to be able to hop out on screen and rolls, and they actually have to be active on help defense protecting the basket. So Randall's Randall's non-existent protecting the basket. He's non-existent. He's great at, or he has the ability to be great at hedging on screen and rolls and even switching, being able to guard some guards up there. But as far as protecting the rim, no. So that's why you would need to get a center to be able to do that. Speaking of that, the Lakers have a gaping hole at center. I'm sure they'll be looking at all their options going forward as far as that position for long term. But yeah, that's a big gaping hole at that center position. I have a possible fix, short term, not long term, but Joakim Noah. He would be a culture changer. But for some reason, I think he might go to Minnesota with Jimmy Butler and help them young T-Wolves, who will be a torture in the near future. So watch out for them young T-Wolves. But a Noah type would be great for this young group because he's very vocal. He knows what it takes to be, a professional in this league and a good team in this league. So I think he would be a big influence on the young guys. So long term, I have Russell and Nance for sure. Clarkson, if he can play the 6-man spot starter type role. So that leaves the odd people out. Randall as trade bait, who you could probably get some good stuff for. And who am I leaving out here? Young guys, or the young guns I call them, is Russell, Clarkson, Randall, Nance. That's 4. Oh, and Bobby, or I don't know why I'm saying Bobby, but Brandon Ingram from Duke, I think is definitely prototypical, actually above average type player if he could develop how he should at that 3. 6'9", and he isn't just going to be pigeonholed at playing the 3. He'll be able to play the 4 and the 2 for stretches. And yeah, that's a definite keeper if they draft him and there's no surprises. So moving ahead for this future, I have Russell, Ingram, Nance for sure. Let's get some free agents in there. Let's get some free agents in there. Let's increase competition and see who really shines. But I think those 3 you're not going to get rid of. They're going to end up being a big part of the Lakers' future, even beyond just winning games and trying to go deep into postseason. I think those 3 would be a big part of it. Let me know what you think. There's Daryl, Purple and Yellow. Peace.